Edgar, I mean, when you're looking at, these people, these two generals have worked together in 2019 while overthrowing Omar al-Bashir. If this is a choice between two generals, is there any other option?
Well, you see now, I hear what you're saying. You see what happens. The agreement states that one of the problems with the peace agreements or peace accords is, especially if you look at the security sector reforms, one of the conditions going forward is that Dagalo's forces, the RSF, will be absorbed into the main army.
Correct. That's actually a bone of contention.
Yeah, that is the bone of contention. And so you realize, Burhan also realizes that Dagalo is bringing in between 70,000 to 100,000 soldiers into the army. So technically, even though they'll be absorbed, their loyalty will be to Dagalo and not to Burhan. And all those dynamics, from readings we find that they are better trained, that the RSF are better trained, better equipped. So there's a bit of...
Let me just go back a little bit.
Yeah.
If you can give us context, historical context into the formation of RSF.
RSF.
How did RSF come into, place?
Yeah. RSF, before al-Bashir, it's interesting, both Burhan and Dagalo are creations of al-Bashir. They've worked with al-Bashir before, the former president. So RSF came from the Janjaweed. So just to give a context, in Darfur region, when there was conflict on that side, al-Bashir created a militia group called the Janjaweed to go and deal with the locals who are agitating for space and liberation in that area. So
the ones they called the rebels.
Yeah, the rebels, yeah.
Right.
So the Janjaweed, quote unquote, this militia group is what al-Bashir utilized to quell or to commit violence in that side. So in 2013, he now formalized and created a structure around RSF and brought them into mainstream government, but gave them a separate command.
So this was a parallel military force.
Exactly.
Then.
It was, like, for example, if we take the Kenyan situation, like the GSU, and then you really arm them and give them good equipment. So Dagalo has been a law to himself for a very long time, operating under Bashir. So when their interests converged, we need to get rid of Bashir, Burhan and Dagalo cooperated.
Right.
When their interest converged in removing Hamdok, the prime minister, the interest converged. But now that Dagalo is being told to cede his group and let them join the main military, that's a problem now for him. I think the discussion from a purely monetary point of view becomes, will I control the same budget I was controlling? And then remember, RSF for the longest time has been accused of illegally mining Sudan's gold and working with Russians, for a long time. So you're asking Dagalo to give up a small empire, which also has some economic implications for him. So you're taking away from him not only the military power, quote unquote, and also some economic power that he had before. So when you tell him to integrate his forces and the formula is not right, then there's going to be a problem. Right. So it is a clash of egos and also a clash of what do we get, what is in it for me after this.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of also influence in terms of political power and economic power.
Correct.
All right. So we're going to come back and continue with this conversation. We've just began. We have to take a break on the show, AM Live, as a hashtag we're using this morning. Zainab Ismail at NTV Kenya, talk to us as we take a look at the situation there in Sudan.